Question 1. Under the assumption that Mr. Patel is designing a Citrix XenDesktop environment, he needs to optimize application delivery to hundreds of users across multiple locations. He is evaluating between Machine Creation Services (MCS) and Citrix Provisioning Services (PVS) for managing desktop images. Which core conceptual advantage should Mr. Patel consider about PVS compared to MCS? A. PVS streams a single shared image directly to desktops, reducing storage and improving update efficiency. B. MCS is network boot to deliver images dynamically, improving performance under heavy load. C. PVS creates independent full clones for each desktop, enhancing individual desktop customization. D. MCS offers a centralized management console for image version control, unlike PVS. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. PVS streams a single shared vDisk image to multiple desktops on demand, which reduces storage overhead and allows quicker updates since only one image needs to be patched, contrasting with MCS, which creates multiple link clones requiring separate storage allocations. Option B incorrectly attributes network boot to MCS, but PVS is streaming. Option C misunderstands PVS. It does not create full clones, but streams from one image. Option D wrongly claims MCS provides centralized image control, but PVS's streaming method is more efficient for centralized updates. This choice tests the deep understanding of image management trade-offs in virtualization. Question 2. Taking into account a scenario where Chen wants to ensure high availability for Citrix delivery controllers in a critical environment, which design principle is most important to apply? A. Deploy multiple delivery controllers in a load-balanced, redundant setup with database failover. B. Use a single delivery controller with failover configured on storefront servers only. C. Rely on machine catalog failover capabilities to mitigate delivery controller downtime. D. Implement delivery groups with session sharing to improve delivery controller resilience. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Machine catalog failover relates to virtual desktops rather than controller availability, so C is a distractor here. The correct high availability design involves deploying multiple delivery controllers with load balancing and redundant databases to ensure continuous operation. Option B is insufficient because storefront failover alone cannot handle delivery controller failure. Option D misinterprets delivery group's function, which controls user access but does not provide failover to controllers. This question tests understanding of high availability in core Citrix infrastructure. Question 3. Given the circumstances where Mr. Ahmed notices performance degradation during peak hours in his XenDesktop environment, which Citrix component should he monitor primarily to diagnose resource bottlenecks impacting virtual desktop delivery? A. Citrix Director, as it provides real-time monitoring and historical data for user sessions and resource usage. B. Citrix Storefront, since it manages all authentication requests and access control logs. C. Delivery groups, because they dynamically allocate compute resources to desktops based on demand. D. Virtual delivery agents, VDAS, which directly control storage performance of virtual desktops. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Citrix Director is the primary tool for monitoring user sessions, resource consumption, CPU, memory, and application performance in real time and historically, making it essential for diagnosing bottlenecks. Storefront B is primarily for authentication and resource enumeration, not resource monitoring. Delivery groups C assign resources but do not actively monitor them. VDAS D run on desktops but do not themselves provide centralized performance metrics. This question tests conceptual knowledge of monitoring and troubleshooting workflows. Question 4. Considering the evidence from a case where Lopez is configuring user profile management to reduce login times and profile corruption, which profile management strategy aligns best with Citrix best practices? A. Use Citrix profile management with folder redirection and exclusion policies to minimize profile size and improve reliability. B. Enable roaming profiles without any folder redirection to ensure all user data is loaded locally. C. Store profiles on local desktops only, avoiding network dependencies for faster access. D. Use a third-party profile tool exclusively, as Citrix profile management is incompatible. MC. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. This question is tricky because the best practice is actually A. Citrix profile management combined with folder redirection reduces profile size, speeds logons, and reduces corruption risks. Option B. Enabling roaming profiles without folder redirection is generally discouraged due to slow logins and profile corruption risk. Option C. Ignores scalability and user mobility, while D incorrectly states incompatibility between Citrix profile management and MCS. Citrix profile management supports MCS fully, so the correct choice here is A, not B. Question 5. Within the framework of configuring Citrix policies, what is the fundamental reason for applying granular policy settings based on user location or device type rather than applying a global policy? A. To optimize user experience by tailoring bandwidth, printing, and display settings specific to environment conditions. B. To simplify management by having fewer policy rules in the environment. C. To enforce uniform security settings across all users regardless of their context. D. To ensure licensing compliance by limiting certain applications to specific locations. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. Licensing restrictions may require policies to limit resource or application access by location or device to stay compliant, but this is not the fundamental reason for granular policies. The main reason is A. Optimizing user experience by customizing settings such as bandwidth and display parameters per environment context. Option B is incorrect as granular policies increase complexity. Option C is counter to the idea of context-specific customization, thus A is the correct deep conceptual answer reflecting best practice. Question 6. When analyzing the merits of Citrix storefront design, what is the most critical factor in ensuring a seamless and secure user access experience? A. Proper integration with delivery controllers and secure SSL configuration to protect authentication and data. B. Deploying storefront servers without load balancing to simplify configuration. C. Hosting storefront on the same physical servers as delivery controllers to reduce network latency. D. Using default storefront settings for all users to maintain consistency. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Storefront must integrate tightly with delivery controllers to authenticate users and enumerate resources, with SSL securing user credentials and data in transit. Load balancing, B. Improves scalability and availability, but is not the most critical factor. Hosting on same physical servers, C. Is not a recommended practice for scalability or fault tolerance. Default settings, D. Rarely suffice. Complex environments. This question tests conceptual understanding of secure, scalable access architecture. Question 7. As demonstrated by a real-world scenario, Ista Garcia needs to troubleshoot slow application launch times. After ruling out network and storage issues, which components configuration is most often responsible for application launch delays in Citrix virtual environment? A. Virtual Delivery Agent (VDA) configuration, particularly session pre-launch and application pre-launch policies. B. Delivery controller load balancing settings. C. Storefront cache management settings. D. Machine catalog sizing and resource allocation. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Storefront cache misconfiguration or stale cache can delay application enumeration and launch times, making it a common cause for such delays, while VDA settings A affect session behavior. Application launch times are more tied to resource enumeration. Delivery controller load balancing, B affects session distribution, not launch speed directly. Machine catalog resource sizing, D impacts over performance but less often directly linked to launch delays. Understanding the interplay of components is crucial here. Question 8. In light of recent developments in security best practices when configuring SSL certificates for Citrix components, what is the primary conceptual reason for using certificates issued by a trusted external rather than self-signed certificates? A. To ensure client devices can validate the certificate chain and establish trust without manual intervention. B. To avoid paying for certificate renewal fees and reduce administrative overhead. C. To allow all users to bypass authentication prompts automatically. D. To simplify certificate installation across multiple Citrix servers. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. Although simplifying installation D may seem attractive, the primary conceptual reason is they trusted external certificates are recognized by client devices by default, preventing trust warnings and enabling secure SALS sessions without user prompts. Self-signed certs require manual trust configuration. Option B is false, as external CAS typically cost more. Option C is incorrect since authentication prompts relate to credentials, not certificates. This question tests deep understanding of security trust models. Question 9. While examining resource management, O'Connor wants to reduce storage usage in her XenDesktop deployment. She is deciding between full clones and linked clones for her virtual desktops. Which conceptual advantage do linked clones provide? A. Linked clones share the base disk and consume less storage while allowing for rapid provisioning and updates. B. Linked clones provide isolated environments for maximum security and customization per desktop. C. Full clones enable better resource sharing among virtual desktops, reducing storage consumption. D. Full clones offer centralized patch management, making updates more efficient than linked clones. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. This is a trick question. Linked clones share a base image to reduce storage use and speed provisioning, while full clones are independent and provide maximum customization. So the correct conceptual advantage of linked clones is A. B incorrectly states linked clones provide isolated environments. They do not fully isolate storage. C. And D misunderstand full clones benefits. Hence A is correct. Question tests deep understanding of cloning methods and their trade-offs. Question 10. Throughout the course of troubleshooting, Sing encounters user sessions disconnecting unexpectedly in a high availability XenDesktop environment. What is the most conceptually appropriate first step to isolate the root cause? A. Check network latency and packet loss between users and delivery controllers to rule out connectivity issues. B. Reboot all delivery controllers to refresh service availability. C. Delete and recreate delivery groups to reset user assignments. D. Disable user profile management to test if profiles are causing the issue. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Rebooting delivery controllers. B is not a recommended troubleshooting first step as it causes downtime and does not diagnose the issue. The most conceptually correct first step is A. Checking network health, since connectivity issues often cause session drops. Options C and D are more invasive and unlikely initial steps. This question tests understanding of systematic troubleshooting and root cause isolation. Question 11. From a practical standpoint, Nguyen is tasked with reducing login times across a Citrix environment with thousands of roaming users. She suspects profile bloat and slow network. Which approach best addresses this issue conceptually? A. Implement Citrix profile management with selective folder redirection and profile exclusions. B. Increase the virtual desktop CPU and memory to speed up logon processing. C. Disable user profiles and force users to use local temporary profiles. D. Move user profiles to a slower network share to reduce server load. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Citrix profile management with selective folder redirection reduces profile size and logon times by avoiding unnecessary files and redirecting large folders to network shares, improving performance and reliability. Increasing CU memory. B does not resolve profile bloat. Disabling profiles. C leads to loss of user data and poor experience. Moving profiles to slow shares. D worsens performance. Test understanding of profile management's role in performance optimization. Question 12. Given the circumstances where Foster is deploying a multi-site Citrix storefront environment, which key design principle ensures seamless user authentication and resource enumeration across sites? A. Implementing storefront federation services to enable trust and resource sharing between sites. B. Using a single storefront server for all sites to centralize management. C. Configuring delivery controllers in one site only to handle authentication globally. D. Disabling multi-site features to avoid synchronization conflicts. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. This is a conceptual trap. The best practice is implementing storefront federation services for multi-site trust and resource sharing, using single storefront server. B. For all sites, limit scalability and fault tolerance, having delivery controllers only in one site. C. Create single points of failure and latency issues, disabling multi-site features. D. Reduces resilience. This tests concept understanding of multi-site architecture. Question 13. In the context of resource management, which approach best supports balancing CPU and memory usage in a XenDesktop environment when virtual desktops have variable workloads? A. Use delivery groups with different machine catalogs optimized for workload types and assign users accordingly. B. Allocate maximum CPU and memory to all desktops regardless of user needs to avoid bottlenecks. C. Deploy only full clones for better resource isolation per desktop. D. Use a single machine catalog and let the hypervisor dynamically adjust resources per VM. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Allocating maximum resources to all desktops. B. Is inefficient and wastes resources. The best conceptual approach is A. Using different machine catalogs tailored for workload types to optimize resource use. Full clones. C. Consume more storage but do not inherently balance CU memory. Hypervisors generally do not dynamically adjust resources perfectly without management policies, so D is optimal. Is tests resource allocation strategy knowledge. Question 14. When faced with the challenge of session reliability, ISTA notices users frequently experience disconnected sessions. Which Citrix feature conceptually provides the most effective way to allow users to reconnect without losing work? A. Session reliability feature that maintains the session during network interruptions. B. Configuring delivery groups to allow simultaneous sessions. C. Enabling machine creation services to automatically recreate desktops. D. Using storefront to redirect users to alternate delivery controllers. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Session reliability. A. Maintains the session during temporary interruptions and is typically the best solution. Option C. Enabling MCS to recreate desktops helps with VM provisioning but not session reconnection. Delivery groups. B. And storefront. D. Provide session assignment and authentication, not session persistence. Question 15. By evaluating network traffic flows, Johnson wants to secure communication between storefront and delivery controllers. Which is the most appropriate security measure conceptually? A. Infer SALS encryption on all storefront to delivery controller traffic to prevent interception. B. Use IPsec exclusively on user device connections but not internal Citrix communication. C. Rely on internal firewalls only to segment storefront and delivery controllers. D. Disable encryption to improve performance in trusted networks. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The best practice is A. Infer SALS on all internal Citrix communications, including storefront to delivery controllers to secure data. IPsec B. At the security layer but is not the primary recommended method. Firewalls seek control access but do not encrypt data. Disabling encryption. D. Compromises security. This tests deep understanding of network security concepts in Citrix. Question 16. Based on the information, when implementing load balancing for delivery controllers, what is the primary conceptual benefit? A. It distributes user session requests evenly across controllers to prevent overload and improve responsiveness. B. It ensures all sessions connect to the same controller to improve caching efficiency. C. It limits user sessions per controller to improve security auditing. D. It prioritizes desktop delivery over application delivery to maximize resource use. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Load balancing's core concept is evenly distributing session requests to avoid overload, connecting all sessions to one controller. B is poor design, limiting sessions for auditing. C is security function but not load balancing benefit, prioritizing desktop over application delivery. D is unrelated to load balancing. This tests conceptual understanding of load balancing roles. Question 17. Considering the evidence, which method best explains how Citrix policies can reduce bandwidth usage without negatively impacting user experience? A. By configuring multimedia redirection and adaptive display policies to optimize traffic. B. By disabling printer redirection to avoid unnecessary traffic. C. By limiting user access hours to reduce overall traffic volume. D. By using a single global policy for all users to minimize configuration errors. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Multimedia redirection and adaptive display policies. A. Reduce bandwidth by offloading multimedia processing to the client device and optimizing image quality, preserving user experience. Disabling printer redirection. B. May reduce traffic but impacts functionality. Limiting access hours. C. Reduces load but is a blunt approach. Single global policy. D. Does not optimize bandwidth for different conditions. Is tests nuanced policy configuration knowledge. Question 18. Under the assumption that Mr. Kim wants to troubleshoot why users cannot launch published applications, which of the following should be verified first conceptually? A. Delivery group assignments to ensure users have rights to the applications. B. Hypervisor resource availability to check if desktops are powered on. C. Network latency between storefront and delivery controllers. D. SSL certificate validity on VDAS. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. While all options can affect app launch, network latency, C. directly impacts communication between components necessary for app launch, making it a critical first check. Delivery group assignments, they affect access rights but not the launch process itself. Hypervisor resources, B. matter if desktops are down but not for general launch failures. SSL certs, D. affect security, not app launch permission. This tests troubleshooting priority understanding. Question 19. While examining the consequences of profile corruption, which principle best describes why folder redirection helps mitigate this risk in Citrix environments? A. It separates large or volatile user data from the profile, reducing the profile size and chances of corruption. B. It caches user profiles locally to avoid network dependency. C. It disables roaming profiles to simplify profile management. D. It forces all profile data to be synchronized continuously with cloud storage. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Folder redirection. It moves large or frequently changed folders, documents, desktop out of the roaming profile, reducing profile size and corruption risk. Local caching. B. Is unrelated to corruption. Disabling roaming profiles. C. Reduces flexibility, synchronizing continuously with cloud. D. Is not a Citrix default and may introduce complexity. This tests conceptual profile benefits. Question 20. In summary of troubleshooting performance issues, Mr. Wright wants to optimize printing within the virtual desktop environment. Which practice best balances performance and user experience? A. Use Citrix Universal Print Driver combined with Session Printer mapping to reduce driver overhead. B. Deploy native printer drivers on every virtual desktop to ensure compatibility. C. Disable client-side printing to force server-side print processing. D. Use third-party print management solutions exclusively to handle all print jobs. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Deploying native drivers. B. Ensures full compatibility but increases maintenance overhead. The best balance is using Citrix Universal Print Driver with Session Printer mapping to reduce load while maintaining compatibility. Disabling client printing. C. Can degrade experience. Third-party solutions. D. Add complexity and cost. This tests understanding of print optimization trade-offs. Question 21. In the context of Citrix Virtual Delivery Agents, VDAS, Mr. Thompson is tasked with ensuring that VDAS are optimally configured for different types of virtual desktops. Which conceptual practice should he prioritize? A. Configuring VDAS with settings tailored to desktop workload types, such as disabling unnecessary services for task workers. B. Installing VDAS with default settings on all desktops to maintain uniformity. C. Deploying VDAS only on physical endpoints to improve performance. D. Using VDAS exclusively for server-based desktops, not virtual desktops. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Tailoring VDA configurations according to workload type improves performance and resource use by disabling unneeded features for task workers or specialized desktops. Default settings. B. May cause unnecessary overhead. VDAS are designed for virtual desktops, not physical endpoints exclusively. C. And they support both virtual and server-based desktops. D. This tests deep understanding of VD optimization. Question 22. Considering the evidence, Ollie wants to design delivery groups to maximize resource utilization while maintaining user experience. Which principle best supports her design? A. Grouping users with similar resource demands and assigning them to dedicated delivery groups. B. Assigning all users to a single delivery group to simplify management. C. Using delivery groups to limit user access to a fixed number of sessions per desktop. D. Configuring delivery groups only by geographic location regardless of workload type. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Delivery groups primarily manage user assignments and session limits, but do not optimize resource utilization alone. Grouping by resource demand A is best practice for balancing load. Assigning all users to one group B reduces granularity and performance control. Location-only grouping D ignores workload needs. This question tests understanding of delivery group roles. Question 23. With respect to Citrix Studio, what is the most critical factor to ensure when creating machine catalogs for a mixed workload environment? A. Selecting the appropriate provisioning method MCS versus PVS that aligns with workload performance and update needs. B. Always choosing MCS as it is simpler to manage than PVS. C. Creating machine catalogs without considering the underlying hypervisor capabilities. D. Assigning all machine catalogs to a single delivery group to reduce complexity. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. While MCS is simpler, the critical factor is a choosing between MCS and PVS based on workload and update strategies. Ignoring hypervisor capabilities. C. Can cause deployment issues. Assigning all catalogs to one delivery group. D. Reduces flexibility. This question tests conceptual decision-making in catalog design. Question 24. Based on the information, Delgado is configuring Citrix policies to improve printing performance. Which policy adjustment conceptually has the greatest impact? A. Enabling session printing and using the Citrix Universal Print driver to reduce driver conflicts and resource use. B. Disabling client printer redirection to limit bandwidth use. C. Forcing all print jobs through a central print server regardless of location. D. Installing full printer drivers on all VDAS to maximize compatibility. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Centralizing print jobs. C. Can improve management but may introduce latency. The best practice is enabling session printing with the universal print driver for balance between compatibility and performance. Disabling client printer redirection. B. Harms user experience. Installing full drivers. D. Increases overhead and potential conflicts. This tests understanding of print management. Question 25. When considering security in Citrix environments, what is the primary conceptual benefit of implementing SSL certificates on storefront servers? A. Encrypts data in transit, protecting user credentials and session information from interception. B. Improves authentication speed by eliminating encryption overhead. C. Enables automatic login without requiring user credentials. D. Allows the use of default Windows authentication without additional setup. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. The primary benefit of SSL is encrypting data to secure communications. Options B, C, and D are incorrect. SSL adds encryption overhead. B does not enable auto login. C and does not negate authentication configuration. D. This tests deep understanding of security fundamentals. Question 26. For resource optimization, shows deciding between creating multiple delivery groups or a single large delivery group, which is the conceptual advantage of multiple smaller delivery groups. A. Allows tailored policies and resource allocation per user group, improving performance and management. B. Simplifies configuration by consolidating users into one management group. C. Reduces hypervisor overhead by limiting the number of delivery groups. D. Enables automatic user load balancing across delivery groups without manual assignment. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Multiple delivery groups provide granularity to apply specific policies and resource management per group. Consolidation. B. Simplifies management but reduces control. Hypervisor overhead. C. Is unrelated to delivery group count. Load balancing. D. Is controlled by other components, not delivery groups. Is tests advanced resource management concepts. Question 27. Under the assumption that is Robinson wants to ensure session persistence during intermittent network failures, which Citrix feature is most relevant? A. Session reliability, which maintains user sessions through temporary network interruptions. B. Load balancing, which redirects sessions to healthy servers. C. Delivery groups, which manage user access rights. D. Machine catalogs, which provide virtual desktops to users. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Session reliability. A. Is the correct feature for maintaining session persistence during network glitches. Load balancing. B. Distributes load but does not maintain session state. Delivery groups. C. And machine catalogs. D. Control access and resource provisioning, not session persistence. This tests conceptual knowledge of session management. Question 20. While analyzing user experience, Mr. Kim notices slow desktop responsiveness in an MCS-based environment. What is the most conceptually valid reason for this issue? A. Over-provisioning of virtual desktops on shared storage leading to EO bottlenecks. B. Using linked clones instead of full clones, which reduces storage but slows desktops. C. Insufficient CPU allocation per desktop without regard to user workload. D. Failure to update delivery controllers causing session latency. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Over-provisioning on shared storage can cause EO contention, slowing desktop responsiveness. Linked clones. B. Usually improves storage efficiency without slowing performance significantly. EPU allocation. C. Affects performance but is not as common. A bottleneck as storage EO. Delivery controller updates. D. Rarely cause desktop slowness directly. Is test troubleshooting fundamentals. Question 29. Given the circumstances, which approach best illustrates the role of Citrix Director in managing virtual desktop environments? A. Providing monitoring, troubleshooting, and session management tools for administrators and support teams. B. Delivering applications to end users through a web portal. C. Creating and managing machine catalogs for provisioning desktops. D. Handling user authentication and authorization. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Citrix Director primarily monitors sessions and supports troubleshooting. A. Delivering apps. B. Is Storefront's role. Machine catalog creation. C. Is managed via Citrix Studio, not Director. Authentication. D. Is handled by delivery controllers and Storefront. This tests understanding of component functions. Question 30. The fundamental question is, when configuring high availability for a Citrix Storefront deployment, which design principle is most critical? A. Deploy multiple Storefront servers behind a load balancer to ensure continuous access. B. Host Storefront services on the delivery controllers to simplify architecture. C. Use a single Storefront server with frequent backups. D. Rely on hypervisor snapshot backups for disaster recovery of Storefront. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. High availability requires multiple Storefront servers behind a load balancer. A. Hosting Storefront on delivery controllers. B. Risk service availability. Single server with backups. C. Does not provide fault tolerance. Hypervisor snapshots. D. Are not a host strategy. Is tests best practices in her architecture.